On tonight's agenda, I'm going to be teaching you how to make billions with a B. That's a lot of money. If you're someone who's down on their luck, facing the turmoils of the economic state of the world we find ourselves in, tune in, pay close attention. I'm going to teach you how you can turn your life around. I'm really excited for what I have to share with all of my friends, followers, investors, and I think this message is very powerful. It's one that needs to be heard, and it's one that should be taken very seriously. So, without further ado, tonight we'll be talking about my plans for the franchise revival of Paul. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Paul. Paul is a very critically acclaimed film released in 2011. And if you haven't seen Paul yet, I urge you to take a moment, watch the movie again. Then one more time for your better understanding of Paul, not only as a film, but as commentary of our world as it was in 2011. Even though it was critically acclaimed for its breaking of conventions and pushing the boundaries of cinema, I still feel as though it didn't quite get what it deserved, which was a full media franchise. I think Paul had every reason to get a sequel and another sequel and many more sequels. But I think the absence of Paul for the last 14 years has ultimately been good. The world needs Paul now more than ever. The impact Paul made on all of our lives. Yes, all of our lives. Whether you saw the movie or not, he made an impact on everyone. The ripple effect of Paul is something that has yet to be studied, and I'm sure it will be a heated discussion within the scientific community after what I have for you today. When these ideas first came to me, it hurt me. Not because they were generally painful ideas, it was just the sheer weight of these ideas were more than even my genius mind could handle. The original Paul left a lot unsaid, and the current state of the world gives Paul a perfect backdrop to return to. The world has changed a lot in the last 14 years, to say the least. You will see when I get to the pitch how Paul is going to tackle some of the serious and dire issues of our world today. How Paul is going to give us the answers we need of how can we solve global challenges. So, why am I the right person for this? Let's talk about the genius behind the idea. I spent many of my early years believing Paul to be real. I thought Paul was among us in flesh and blood. And I eagerly awaited his return for many years. But reality set in as I grew older. But I realized the only way to bring Paul back was to do it myself. So I climbed the ladder in the film industry. I worked hard for many years. I studied film. I learned all about the media form. And I put all of that to the test by creating my own movies. Movies such as, and also, which you may have heard of due to them both winning Academy Awards. Many believe that it is a privilege to work with me. I truly believe that I am someone that was imbued with the spirit of Paul. And therefore, I am the only person in this industry that has the qualifications to bring Paul back. My idea today will make billions. But know this, I do not do it for the money. I do it for the idea of Paul. This is about global conflict resolution. Why is now the time for Paul to make his big comeback? Well, trends have shown that the watch time for the original Paul is at an all-time high. People are seeking the message that Paul brought to our world in the Big 2-5. Think about that. That's amazing. People are still resonating with the message of the original Paul. And as you can see by this graph, that number continues to go up. People have generally shown an ever-rising interest in Paul-related media since 2018. Searches for Paul sequel have never been higher. Paul DVD sales have also increased. Let's discuss the Paul films. We start with Paul 2, otherwise known as, hey, it's Paul again. And it follows Paul as he returns to Earth, longing for weed. As we know, Paul in the first film smoked a lot of weed. It only makes sense that during his journeys, he won't find weed anywhere else than the planet Earth. He will naturally run into his friends, and the three go on an adventure for the best weed that money can buy. There are only two people on this planet that truly know where to find such weed. That would be none other than Dale and Saul from the hit film Pineapple Express. I think now is the best time to bring James Franco and Seth Rogen back for this pseudo-sequel to Pineapple Express. It fits the themes of both films. It makes sense within the universe. We're not just making cameos and crossovers for the sake of making cameos and crossovers. The big three need Dale and Saul's help to find the best weed to celebrate Paul's return. However, as all things in the world, it must come to an end. And ultimately, the movie ends with the Earth blowing up, and the big three have to escape the planet and go to Paul's homeworld. And that will directly lead into Paul 3. It's Paul Over. It's Paul Over is a gut-wrenching film. This is a film where we're going to see Paul at his lowest. When the big three return to Paul's homeworld, they find that Paul's twin brother has taken over the planet, and he is searching for Paul to execute him. The big three are now on the run. They come to find out that Paul's twin brother is simply afraid of Paul. Paul knows his twin brother's big secret, and Paul's twin brother only seeks to remove all traces of his own vulnerability. Paul's homeworld will also blow up, and he will accept his fate, as will his friends. They will all embrace each other in their final moments. Better Call Paul is a parody of the hit TV show Better Call Saul. This movie will follow Paul, a down-on-his-luck lawyer, as he rises through the ranks, sacrificing his moral compass and losing sight of who he really is. It's a movie that makes you think, what was the point of the other three Paul movies? And in the end, Paul is shot dead, waking up in heaven. And it is revealed that this is simply a vision presented by God. It will lead into a philosophical discussion in Paul 5. It's Paul in your head. In this movie, Paul has a philosophical discussion with God on how the new universe should be created. Ultimately, Paul fights for the universe to be recreated exactly the same. If you're not ready for what will be the final Paul film, step back, take a deep breath. It will all be okay. Paul 6 will be titled Paul 2. And this film will recreate the events exactly as they were in Paul 1 from 2011. I fully anticipate reviews of this film to praise it for its originality and how it's a wonderful send-off to Paul. With a measly $4 billion in funding, we can make all of these movies a reality. $4 billion for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies is a small ask. And with an additional $500 million in marketing, we can spread the word of Paul to more and more people. Investors, listen closely. The results will be astronomical. We are anticipating $120 billion in returns from the Paul franchise. So how can we make this happen? Deposit the funds into my account and watch the magic happen. If you do not see how important it is to make this happen, I feel sorry for you. Paul's message must continue, and I'm completely open to being part of a think tank for Paul's multimedia expansion. Television shows, books, restaurants, video games. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. We will be playing a new game that I found that looks very interesting. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you soon. Good night.